Pleasure to introduce to you our speaker for this afternoon. Our speaker is Dr. Safary Wa-Mbaleka, and I think his most important identifying information about him is that he is the founding president of AQRA. Disclaimer, he did not give me his bio. So if I make mistakes here, I think you can forgive me. But this is the best that I can come up. I will repeat that we are very happy to welcome him because he is the founding president of AQRA. Presently, he is the Dean of the School of Postgraduate Studies and online director of Adventist University of Africa. That's where he went when he left IAS. He is an author of several qualitative research books and articles. And I think one of his greatest achievements is that he is an editor of a forthcoming book to be published by SAGE, and that's a qualitative handbook in the Asian context. He has delivered keynote and plenary presentations at several international conferences in more than 20 countries, including once at the World Conference on Qualitative Research in Porto, Portugal. He has provided several dozens of qualitative research trainings and talks over the past 7 years, mainly in the Philippines and a few times in other countries. What AQRA is now is largely because of the dream of Dr. Safary Wa-Mbaleka. So join me in welcoming Dr. Safary Wa-Mbaleka in his presentation, Finding and Applying for Research Grants. Dr. Safary, you have now the time.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arceli. It is a great privilege for me to be invited. I consider it being invited home to be with my people because it's been quite some time that we talk, but for those that we have not been meeting, I have not cut my umbilical cord from AQRA. From time to time, I know it's like when you are the president of the United States, when you step out, you still know what is happening. And so I'm always following the events very closely. I have attended even a number of colloquium, even if you don't see me. So I consider it a very special privilege for me to be speaking to you. Greetings from Nairobi, Kenya. And you can see our university there, picture at the bottom. That's where I live at this point, just outside of Nairobi, about 10 kilometers from the city. But it's kind of the continuation of the city. I definitely miss AQRA, being physically there, and I think many of you do because of the COVID-19, where you have not been meeting physically as a family. I know right before I left, we had just started a practice of having family reunion in different places, and that was a lot of fun. I attended some of those. That was just a lot of fun to actually meet some members who had not been able to attend our conferences. And so I can't wait for the end of this pandemic so that we can continue with that. And maybe I will fly back to the Philippines and attend some of those reunions. I saw a number of names that are very familiar to me, and I'm so glad that you have come. Greetings to those coming from IFSU, from LNU, from Legazpi, from CPAC in Bacolod, from even Mindanao. I saw even a Kalinga State University. These are, and Samar State University, East Samar State University, or North one. These are all places that I'm very familiar with. We have collaborated on many different occasions, and I'm so glad that you continue to support AQRA, because AQRA is not just about the leadership. It is the people, it is the members. And so as long as we continue supporting in all the different ways that we can, that is how we get to grow as a family. So thank you for your continued support to AQRA. Until I die, I will continue to support AQRA to the best, to my very best abilities. Last year, I was invited to speak at the Association of African Universities. It's basically an association of that is put together by the African Union. I was just privileged to speak as one of the experts that had been invited for online education from all around the continent. And somebody met me online. Obviously it was online. It was right after the shutdown started, the lockdown. And somebody who was attending from here in Kenya, although the event was organized in Ghana, contacted me, emailed me, and he said, "Hey, I didn't know you are one of the speakers, and you are actually here in Kenya. We have something we want to discuss with you." And that is, we have a platform, we have developed a platform that can help people to get money. There are millions of dollars out there that can really be of great help to researchers. And immediately, you will not believe it, immediately my mind went to the AQRA family, my mind went to the Philippines with all the work we have been doing. That, wait a minute, that is an area where we have not really done very well. Now people have the skills, they are doing great research, a lot of presentations that are happening on this platform. They are pretty solid, solid work, which shows that AQRA as a family, we are growing. But we have one area where we still need more growth because we need money also to conduct research. And so that year, actually last year, I had planned to even get myself the training, extensive training on grant proposal writing. And so when these guys came in, it was like, wow, you are just coming to meet what I'm thinking about. So today I'm going to tell you just an overview of how to apply for research grant. And then I'm going to preview that platform, which I'm personally already using. And if you are interested, your university is interested, you can contact, I'm going to share the contact information of the company. They were actually supposed to be here. I don't know if they are, I can't tell. But they will be willing to work with you and see if you can get that, that ready. So we are looking at the definition of the grant and the proposal. We're going to look at two different types of grants. We are going to look at the different dimensions of a proposal, the critical factors to consider, and then we are going to look at Research Beeline, which is the platform that these young people have designed, which is amazing, amazing, very user-friendly. I have personally used it to apply for a few grants. So what is a grant? I always thought that a grant was money until I attended the training and I started reading and doing a lot of exploration by myself and discovered that no, grant is not just money. It is an award that is given in the form of goods, services, or cash. It is true that whenever we say grant, all of us, most of us, not all of us, most of us think about cash, but it's not just about cash. It is also goods. You can apply for a grant where people are going to give goods. You can just think about some projects that you're running in your university or your organization where you need specific goods to be delivered to you. Like right now with the pandemic, maybe you want to have vaccines that will be donated by a big organization, maybe masks because you are in a mountain where there's no money to buy the masks and things like that. Or services where you apply for a grant where medical doctors will come to help in your community. So that is still a grant. It can be used for research or used for a specific program in your community, in your organization, in your church, in your institution. It is up to you, but it's either for research or programs. And it can be an academic program that you are running and there is grant out there to actually help with that program. It can be services people will come to help with the program, or goods they are going to give to come to help with that program, or money that will be given to actually do that. You'll find that, for example, the Gates Foundation, they have a lot of grants like that, where they are financing specific programs. And also they have grants for specific research. Unfortunately, I remember when I was still in the Philippines, sometimes I would go to Google and try to find research grants, and I put research grants there, and I would find very few, and the very few that I found, they would say you have to be a Filipino scholar. And right there, as much as I consider myself Filipino, I wouldn't qualify because I can't prove that my citizenship as a Filipino. So what is the proposal? It's an application form or a narrative written to apply for a grant. So when you prepare that document, that the funder or the donor has put in forward for you to actually prepare something to convince that you should be awarded a grant. That document is the proposal. Usually can be a detailed program or idea. You have an idea of something you want to improve, and usually improving the system, improving the people, improving their life, improving community, or conducting a research study. So the grant, the application, the proposal, they all start with the idea. And so when you're working on an idea for a proposal, you need to have expertise on it, because that is something most funders are going to ask: what qualifies you to actually apply for this? Like for me, if I had to apply for a grant for business, for a new business, they may say, okay, what experience do you have in running a business? I didn't even study business to start with. You need to have a passion about it, because in the process, you'll find that it's a long process and it requires a lot of documentation and sticking to the guidelines. So if you don't have the passion for that, if you are just applying to get the money and you don't have the passion for what you are trying to do, you will lose the passion, and later on you may have to pay back the funder. Yes, it happens. You need to have time for that idea. And so because it will take time, and because you have passion for that, you need to take care of the idea. You need to have the determination to take good care of the idea so that it will yield the maximum impact for the people that you're trying to help. The different types, the two different types, they may be different, many different ones, but here I just want to limit to the research grant and the project grant. Any research grant is about collecting data, analyzing it, and interpreting it and writing the report to help understand a specific problem, just like research that we do, social sciences research that we do in universities. But a project grant is something that you're going to actually implement in the community, in your organization, in your institution, and you are going to test how it is working. If it is a program, you're going to implement it and see how it changes people, and the maximum people you are able to reach, the better. What are the different dimensions that you need to keep in mind for your proposal? There are some preliminaries where you have to write your title, the executive summary, the problem statement, the purpose, specific purpose for your proposal, your project, or your research. We have the methodology. Yes, you must have methodology even for programs. I remember one of those that I applied for was a program. We wanted to do a program, an education program that was going to cover three countries here in East Africa. And there we definitely had to use both quantitative and qualitative research, and how we're going to collect the data and analyze the data. So everything we have been learning from AQRA, now we can use it to we can put it to good use by integrating that in the proposal. Of course, also what you did in quantitative research. And there is a dimension of evaluation. How are you going to evaluate the impact of your project? At what point are you going to do evaluations? Who is going to do it? How long will they do it? Then the personnel, who's going to be involved? If it's a huge project, you probably need more people. And many funders will actually tell you you need a team. You're not going to do it alone. If it's something in $50,000, $100,000, nobody will put the money like that in the hands of one person. While something like $5,000, $1,000, $2,000, it can be in the hands of one person. And the expertise you need to, usually in most grants, they will tell you, please put like a CV of each of the members of your team to show their expertise in the field, but also experience in conducting this kind of project or conducting this kind of research and actually handling this. And this is a tricky one because it's not just showing how many publications you have, but also how much do you know about this, what has prepared you to do what you want to do. And the last one is the budget. Every single dollar or peso that is part of the proposal, how are you going to use it? And can you convince us that it is worth actually spending on? Here you say, okay, I'm going to need a laptop, and you put there 500,000 pesos. There's a problem there, which will be $10,000. Nobody will understand. I mean, the moment any funder sees that, it's like, okay, this person is here only to make money from me. And so we have to be reasonable. We need to know what we are actually applying for. For the critical factors, we need to follow the guidelines. Every funder, when they put the call for proposals out there, they will have the clear guidelines. No, let me not say clear. They will have complete guidelines. Some of them are not clear. I have read a number of them from time to time when I go to the platform, and I discover that some of them are not clear, but they provide guidelines. Do not ignore any of the guidelines, because that's what they're going to use to actually evaluate the proposal. Imagine these people do not know you. Why should they give their money to you? That is something we should answer. We should try to keep in mind when we're applying. Somebody who doesn't know you, they don't owe you anything. Why should they put money in your hands if it is money or goods or services, and yet they don't know you? So we need to follow their guidelines so that they see that we are serious with what they're asking for. For the project or the program that we are trying to run, we need to make sure it is clear, it is complete, it is convincing, and it's worth funding, or it's worth supporting. Because the people who are going to read, some of them may not even, they may not have extensive research, but they have a lot of knowledge in the area where the grant is. We need expertise to demonstrate that. We cannot ignore that, because if we are not able to convince the funder, the funding organization, that we have the expertise, then we have a problem there. One of the challenges is the experience. This is a risky one, and this is the reason why I'm going to actually encourage you, if you are applying for the first time, that you should not try to apply for an extremely large amount of money if it is for money, because it will be hard for people to put a lot of money in your hands when you don't have any evidence that you are able to carry on a study in the past. Start with something that is reasonable for somebody. The risk is low for the funder, that if we lost this money, it's not too bad. And as you get that, you continue now increasing until you get at a higher level. Then the other critical element is budget. If it is a cash grant, you need to know what are the allowed expenses, because every grant will specify what can be funded, justify every single expense that you have there, give the details that are required, and some of the grants will have templates. Follow those templates and make sure you do not ignore. If there is something that is unclear, contact the funder so that they will actually help you with that. For the last few minutes that we have, I want to show you the platform, and then we can entertain a few questions. This organization, when finally they called me and they asked me to have a demo, they introduced me to this, I looked at it. I mean, I got excited, just like I got excited when I left the Philippines. I got excited that when I get to Kenya, I'm going to start making noise about qualitative research and also about AQRA. When I saw this, I got excited that I will not rest until I have shared this information with AQRA members, AQRA family, and hopefully they will be able to spread this, because as I mentioned at the beginning, it is always a challenge. You go to Google, you try to find references, you cannot find, I mean, you want to find grants, it is hard to find grants that fit within your field. Many times I would spend like half day trying to find something, and in the end, the one that's kind of closest to what my field is, when I read it, I say, okay, this is only for Filipinos, or this is for whatever that I don't qualify for. So for 8 years that I was in the Philippines, I never applied for external funding. While here, for less than 2 years, I've applied for a few of them already because of this platform. So let's look at it. The company is called Research Beeline. It's based here in Nairobi. This is the website, researchbeeline.com, but the platform itself, it's on fundsbeeline.com. I was asking them why they go with the Beeline. They have the whole explanation. I think you can read it on the website. So when you click on this, I created a screenshot so that you can save time. So when you click on Funds Beeline, you can go there right now. This will be what will be the first page that you get in. And then when you log in, you can sign up and things, but when you log in, you will go to this will be the home page. On the home page, you'll find the opportunities, view available opportunities. That's where it gives you access to the different opportunities, the different grants that are there. But on the left side here, they have some of those, they call it editor's special opportunities, where they have things that, hey, people, any member, look at this thing, it's really, really good. And you can, if you click on those that are on the left side, those are actually grants that you can apply for. And then they have the top news here, and they have upcoming events on the right side. So they have conferences, for example, if you are a member, if the university is a member and they happen to have a conference coming up, you can send that to them and they will put it here so that all the Research Beeline members can see that event. So they will do marketing for you. The other thing that I like, I discovered this just this week. Once you become a member, there is a navigation bar at the bottom that will show all the universities that are members. And you can see our university is already mentioned there, Adventist University of Africa. And this is not just the only number, it keeps rolling. I don't know if now there are beyond 100 universities, and primarily they created this for Africa. But when I met them, I said, okay, guys, the only way I can speak for your organization is if we have something for the ASEAN. And so last year they spent, I think, 5 months creating something specifically for ASEAN. And so now the Philippines and all these countries around the Philippines, they have grants that are specific to those countries. But until then, until I met them, if you were in the Philippines, you wouldn't actually get anything when you log in, because everything was tailored to Africa. So yes, we have now things that are part of Asia. So let's go back to view available opportunities. When you click on that, you'll come to the screen like this. And on this one, you'll have different things on top there. My bookmark, there you can bookmark whatever you have found, and you say, hey, I want to come back to this. You'll bookmark that, and when you click on this, it will bring that back. The recommended opportunities, if you are a group, if your university joins, you will have a team member, like an administrator, institutional administrator of Research Beeline. That person can add things there as he or she comes across them, so that when you log in, you can, instead of wasting time looking, you can just go there and see what your administrator has done. You have another one, my research, saved search. When you search and you discover that, hey, I don't want to use the keywords, the same keywords again next time. Let me just save my search so that whenever there's something that meets these criteria, it will come immediately to that. So next time you log in, you just click on my saved search, you click on it, it will show you what has come as new thing. New added opportunities, this again is something that will come from your administrator. It says, hey, here are new things that you want to look at as a team. So when you go in, you can just click on that. And then here is an opportunity to create the groups. If you happen to have many licenses, you can actually create multiple groups for education, for nursing, for engineering, for whatever you want. And then you can clear all the search conditions there. The other thing, so once you search, you put a keyword there, you'll come to a place like this that will show you the different grants and when the deadline is. The deadline is on the left side, and in the middle you see the different grants. On the left side is the filters, the different filters that you can use. When you have the search, sometimes I remember searching, there was like 500 grants that were showing up. I needed to narrow down. So here you have, for example, if I did COVID-19 as a keyword, it will bring something there that shows what is happening, or the different grants that are there and the different amounts that are available. Unfortunately, these I just took these screenshots yesterday, and they show just what is happening. The deadlines are coming up very soon, but the deadlines there are some deadlines that are even next year. Here you see a lot more information that is relevant to that specific COVID-19, just COVID-19. So you can use different filters, and here on the left side you can change. You can use different keywords, and here you can use the different filters. If you have the specific sponsor or funder like Ford or Gates Foundation, you can just put that there, and they will do that. So there are different ways. Because of time, I'll just go through this pretty fast because we don't want to keep you too long here. You can search by country or funder. Maybe you want to check only the funds coming from Germany. So there you will just put Germany, and the grant type, you can choose the specific type of grant. You can choose the deadline and say, okay, since I will take at least 3 months to write my proposal, let me look at only the grants that are going to expire after July, after August 31. It's up to you. Geographic availability, this is very important. The bottom line, the bottom side of country applying for is very important. You need to put your country there, or where you're going to conduct the study, because you may find a very good grant only to discover that it is not applicable. They're not going to fund the Philippines, for example. So you need to specifically choose that one. Then you have, if it's application type, you want to say, I want to apply for undergraduate grant or master's or PhD or postdoc and so on. It is up to you. You can put a specific limit. I like this feature. I just put 10,000 maximum so that all those big ones like $3 million, which I know I will not qualify for because my experience is still limited, I don't want them to show. So here I just put 500. So with this, you can put the different keywords there. Here's some of the things that I put as a key search. I put leadership. You see some of the things there. You can see the amounts that are available on the right side. I tried agriculture. Just last night that I did this. I saw this. And I tried engineering. There you can see more engineering there on the right side, and the amount that are there. Nursing, I did that. And once you find one that you like, so here, for example, I say, hey, this is a community action research initiative grant. That sounds very nice for me. It's 3,000. I say, okay, the stakes are not very high. I can apply for that. So you click on it. And once you click on it, it will show you the details. And here it will show you the eligibility, for example, the amount, how many days are needed, and so forth. And once you have this information, if you feel you qualify, it is something that you can do, then you click on visit on the right side bottom, Founders website. You click now on the visit, and then it will take you there. Trust me, some of these things, I find them here and I have never found them when I try with Google. So let's wrap up. I know the question, one of the questions will most likely be, how much is it? Here is the information for institutional subscription yearly. They have 4 different levels. It depends on the size of your university, really. While they offer also the training, proposal writing training, and here, if you have already the subscription, obviously it becomes cheaper. But if you don't have subscription, it will be a little bit more expensive. So you can take a screenshot of this and contact them directly, and the information is right here. If you want to get in touch with Research Beeline, they did a demo at our university just recently. I told them, I said, I want you to actually come and do a demo. So they did a demo in our university about, I think it was last month. And we are, kind of getting ready to see how we can get involved with more people than just me, because at this point, I'm the only one who has access to that. So bottom line, I encourage us to challenge ourselves to take a step much higher. We have been growing together since 2015. We have grown through the seminars, the workshops, the trainings, the conference. We have met in the different parts of the Philippines. Many of you have come to be with us at IAS and also Tagaytay in the conferences. We have had a good time, but we have learned so much. We have learned so much from one another. But why not take it to even higher level? There are so many things happening today in our respective institutions. Finances are a huge problem right now. Internet, we don't have money to have internet that is stable for our students to study. How about we go after all this money and resources that are available and actually help our university, our communities, several communities that are suffering right now, and use this money, because the money is there, but we, the scholars, are not applying for that. Thank you so much for your attention and for giving me this time to speak with you. I wish you the very best in your application, in challenging yourselves to a much higher level. God bless you, and God bless AQRA.
Thank you very much, Dr. Safary. That's really informative, very, very much. I'll now give the time to Dr. Pavel and Dr. David to facilitate the question and answer. We have a few questions here. I saw that some of you posted some questions in the Q&A. Please, in the chat box, please move them to the Q&A so your questions can be answered.
Thank you so much, Dr. Safary. We have, indeed, we have questions incoming, and our attendees are very much interested to know more about details. And this is empowering information, and this is very important. So there is a question from our colleague from the seminary, Dr. Lotsa Gabasiane. Is there any chance for grants in the line of applied theology?
Unfortunately, I have not looked at all the grants that are out there, but I would assume that applied theology, they do a lot of research that is relevant to social sciences. So if we look at applied theology from the umbrella of social sciences, I would say yes, there is a possibility to have something in applied theology. If, for example, there is you have a church in a rural area and a lot of people are so poor that they are struggling big time. I think as a pastor, you can try to create a community project that will help those church members, and so that they will not suffer too much. And so from that perspective, I will say, yes, you can definitely find a fund for that.
Agree. Yes. Another attendee is asking, is it not applicable for Nepalese from the country of Nepal.
That question, you know, I have to confess my ignorance. If Nepal is part of ASEAN, then it is included. At this point, we have not. They have not covered the whole Asia, because I told them most of our members, really seriously, if you the day you're going to talk to them, they will tell you, I talked about AQRA and I said most of our members at this point are in the ASEAN region. So if we see a lot of people in demand in Asia in general, then I can ask them, say, hey, please include also other countries in Asia.
Okay, thank you. I think the next question was already answered. Princess Brelata is asking, is there a fee in signing up in Research Beeline?
Yes, that's really addressed, yes.
Okay, Alejandro Soriano is asking, where is the attendance sheet and evaluation link for today's? Okay, this is already. I think it's a different. It's not directly to the speaker. From Philippines, thank you, Dr. Safary, for the informative presentation. Okay, asking for a soft copy. If it is very nice and funny, I'm looking for more initiative in webinar that can explore research. Okay, we have another question here from Ranjit Kingston. Sir Ranjit is asking, thank you so much for the valuable information. Do you think there are also similar platforms in the other parts of the world?
I would think there is. I like one that I know very sure about, but it is limited. That is the United States aid, USAID. They have a platform. I remember attending one of their workshops, but it's not as comprehensive as this one. It is possible, but I do not know. I have never come across something like that, like this, but it is possible that there is one like that.
Okay, Marcos Valido is asking, can we apply for a grant even if we are not a member of Research Beeline from Northwest Samar State University?
Definitely. I mean, it's possible that you have other grants out there that you may fund. For example, there are grants in the Philippines like CHED. CHED offers a lot of grants. And you can apply for that. And I don't think that Beeline will capture that unless it is made available online. They may not get that. So yes, definitely. There are so many grants out there that may not be captured here. But the good thing with Beeline is that it's like when you go to the library and you have an online database. Everything is one place, you're just clicking and finding everything there. Other than trying to go to many different universities and looking at the books, hard copies. That's the only difference. But yes, definitely there's got to be other grants out there that are not captured.
What I think the question, Dr. Safary, is because as I understand, we have to be a member of Beeline to avail ourselves of the grants. The question is, can we apply for grants at Beeline without, even if we are not a member?
No, that will not be, because you have to have access, and the access is given to you after you have your institution has paid the membership.
Yes. So that means that our participants here today they have to talk to their administrators, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
convince them, show to them. You can visit the site that was given by Dr. Safary, and I think we will make this PowerPoint available, Dr. Safary, right?
Sure, no
yes,
problem.
So that they can access, they can visit, and then they can show these to their administrator. So you're saying, I saw that the cheapest is $1,500. Is that it?
I believe that's what it was, yes.
So it's about 70, oh yeah,
Yeah, something like
75,000
75,000
pesos.
pesos. But the way I look at it is, what is it if I spend 75,000 pesos and to access the potential of millions of pesos?
That's right.
That's how I look at it. That's how I look.
Right.
Yeah, Dr. Safary.
Yes, sir.
What about? See, I see for the cheapest one, the 1,500, it's for 5
Licenses.
licenses. You mean 5 people can use to access it? But
Yes.
so, for example, if AQRA were to purchase a license, so 5 people can access that. Can the members of AQRA benefit from it too? So, because we have lots of members, what does 5 license mean? Is it only 5 people who possibly can get the grant? Or
You
is
will
it,
have basically 5 users. Like when you purchase your software, the license software, you'll have 5 different licenses.
so
You'll have basically 5 different logins.
Dr. Safary, so it
You'll
means
have
that
5 different logins, which is the same way.
yeah, so 5 logins to access the website, but the number of grants is not necessarily only 5, right? So for example, if a university,
You have access to all the grants that the platform has.
yeah, and the number of people who will get the grant is not necessarily only 5, right? So for example,
you can get the 1,000 grants. It's up to you. It's up to you. You access all of them. In fact, personally, one of the things I would do, like for us here, because we're not really a huge university, we will just have maybe those 5, and we have 5 people who can search for these things for us and then share with the rest of our university. That's one of the things I will do. If it's a huge university, maybe one license for each department or each school, something like that. I mean, it depends on the university.
yeah, so the question becomes, if AQRA were to purchase one, at least the 5 licenses, can we search for grants on behalf of our members? That's the question.
That question, please ask the research beeline. That is way too technical for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that's a very good information that it's not, and besides, when we conduct, conduct a research, it's not only one person, it's a research team. So many people can be benefited, and besides the amount really is big. That means that we can really dream big, conduct studies that are really big, not only in the Philippines. In fact, we can even collaborate as AQRA members coming from different countries, and we can hold a study with an Asian scope, or even beyond Asia. Yeah, so these are the possibilities, and we are glad, would like to invite our AQRA members to dream big as well. I learned yesterday during our training, there was a term that was new to me, parochial, that we should not conduct studies that are parochial, meaning that within only our territory, but let's dream big. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so Dr. Pavel, there's lots of questions coming in.
By the way, Dr. Safary, Dr. Dolph has a chat here. He said that James Waitaka is present today.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's good he joined.
David, can you
Okay, I'll promote him.
Promote him? Yes, please. So there are some questions here like, can we have soft copy? Yes, we will post the soft copy, do not worry, in the AQRA website, and we'll make this available also in our AQRA FB page. And there's a question about evaluation. We are still talking about that. We know some of our members. I don't know if that is important to you about the evaluation, if you need such kind of data, how AQRA virtual event, you want to rate the AQRA virtual events. We don't have what we are talking about it, and so for now we don't have it. We are sorry about that. Yeah, so David.
Yeah, so James Waitaka
I can see you.
James Waitaka is in, no? So, but he's not showing his video yet.
So perhaps you can continue with the question and ask some of the questions. By the way, it's already 6:02. So for some of our participants, if you want to go, you may go, but we are just pleased that James Wataka is here. Maybe we can hear a few words from him. Dr. Safary, is that all right with you?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. For those kind of
Okay.
technical questions, definitely he will be in the best position to address them.
Good, good.
So can we entertain some more questions?
Yeah, there are some questions there. Would you like
Yes.
to?
I think there are some very good questions. For instance, the question is it possible for 5 universities to team up to buy one license? I don't know.
Okay, James, James, are you around? Can you please address that one?
Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for that awesome presentation, Prof. And thank you for the invite. And I've seen you have answered most of the questions, okay? And let me take that last question. It's not possible. You cannot have 5 universities teaming up to buy one license.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason being is that also the people who collect this information, the dealing with 5 universities will be a very tasking thing. So we need for you to have optimum usage and for you to have more access to, more support from the research beeline, you would require your license so that you have a key support person who is able to guide you on how to navigate. If in the event that you need opportunities that they are not in the platform, this person is also able to support you and guide you on how to get those opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There are questions like, are they accepting both quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methods? So I think
definitely. This has nothing to do with the limitation of any quantitative or qualitative research, because some funders, they will say, you know, the way they are making their call is like, oh, this study has to be really quantitative. You as the applicant takes the decision, how can I methodologically convince people that this research is going to be sound? Or if it is a project, you probably have just basic data that you're going to collect to show that, hey, we definitely need this for a project like this. So there's no limitation of methodology.
Also, they're asking about the area of granting. The grants applicable for hospitality and tourism researchers too?
James, please go ahead.
Yes, we don't have a specific area of that we concentrate on. We do all types of areas of research, whether sociology. In fact, there was a question about theology. Currently, we have over 50 opportunities on theology. So we don't have a specific area. We cover all areas of research possible. Yes.
There is a question, what is the assurance of getting the grant if we will get into a member?
Okay, let me take that one, James. I don't think it's like going to the online databases of a library and say, what is the insurance that I'm going to get to be given the books? No, it doesn't really work like that. Research Beeline is there to put the resources together. It's not Research Beeline that is going to give you the grant. It's the funder, as I demonstrated to you, how to access that. Their job is to bring this to create a database for you so that you don't waste time trying to find the resources. Just like somebody, a librarian, you subscribe to a library, public library, so that you can see things in one place. Otherwise, you would have had to go to many different libraries.
But perhaps we want to hear from James, like, can you give us an idea of the percentage? I think people would just want to know what is the likelihood of receiving the grant, of having the application approved.
Okay. What we do as Research Beeline is collecting the funding opportunities and put them in a very easy to search database. So, and we also guide you where to go and apply for that grant. So we don't have that authority, or rather the advantage that once you apply a grant that you have seen on Research Beeline, that you'll be assured that you'll be given that grant.
Mm-hmm.
Ours is to inform you that this is the available grant and you can get it in this website. Mm-hmm. And these are the eligibility qualifications. And so the bulk of the work now lies with the researcher to apply for that. Mm-hmm. We don't have that advantage that we can coerce the funder to give you the grant.
But once an institution is a member, once there is that license, the researcher can apply to as many.
Yeah. Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. May I just add something, Dr. Aseli, and that is one of the things that I immediately recommended to Research Beeline, because until we met, they were not really offering a lot of proposal writing workshops. I told them, you need to plan this immediately, because it is one thing to access the resources, but it's something also to prepare, to know how to write, because it's different. When I went through the training last year, I said, oh wow, okay, it's a whole different world. Yes, we use some of the knowledge we know from like research and writing properly, writing scholarly, those skills, definitely use them. But how to convince the funder, that was something that I didn't know. I mean, there was a lot of mistakes that I made because I tried to apply before. There was a lot of mistakes that I made that I learned that I should avoid. So that's the reason why now Research Beeline is also giving the training, so that they increase the chance for people to be awarded.
Yeah, so James, can you tell us very briefly about that training? I saw it's a 3-day training, but yeah, how much that is? Can you please tell us more about that? The training for proposal writing.
The course was here, but he can answer the other part, but the course was right here.
I see, okay, I see that part.
Yeah, this is whereby we take you through the whole research grant writing process. We take you through the theoretical process, and then we group the people into groups, whereby we give them real opportunities to work on, depending on their thematic areas. So within the group now, people are given real life opportunities under the guidance of the facilitator. So within the 3 days, they will go through the whole process of grant proposal writing. And also the facilitator is available to them for the next 30 days to ensure that they apply that proposal in the right way and on time. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pavel and David. We have run out of time, so we are sorry. Some of these questions we hope we can answer. We will try to summarize and I mean collect questions that have not been answered, and we will share the answer to you next meeting. All right, so for today we would like to give the certificate of recognition to Dr. Safary Wa-Mbaleka, who is our resource speaker for the topic finding and applying for research grants. Our heartfelt thanks, Dr. Safary. We are very grateful that you are able to share your knowledge with us today. And thank you also, James, for joining us.
Thank you,
Yes,
Sel, for the
everyone.
training.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Rosario.
Shirley.
Hello, my
Thank you,
professors.
AQRA. Thank you, Dr.
Thank
David.
you,
My brother.
Accra.
Welcome,
Oh,
welcome, welcome.
Good job there.
Yes, God
okay.
bless you,
Hello, love
everyone.
Go
you.
again.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
all of